Loving yourself, I need to find a light. Loving yourself is, I want to say, is of the hardest tasks as a human being. I was just walking down the street to my neighbor. I was walking down the street past my neighbors who were playing a deck of cards. And we were just in a, just chatting like neighbors. And one of the neighbors, his name is Ernest, he was talking about finding the one and finding that companion, that relationship that would be fulfilling for his heart. And I was like, And I kept noticing how he kept saying, I'm praying, hoping, wishing, and if God permits, a person to come across my path, then, in his will, in his divine will, shall it be done. And I was like, pause. Because I remember there's a quote from a person by the name of Abraham Hicks. If you don't know Abraham Hicks, she basically, her name is Esther. And what she does is she channels a subconscious alter ego named Abraham, which is a male. And Abraham is like another consciousness. So she talks from Abraham as a conduit. And she always says about the ing, when you're trying, when you're looking, you're working, you're doing. Those are ing. Ings are always, it's an adjective. You're chasing something. Not an adjective, I'm sorry, it's a verb. The ing is always, I'm searching. I'm trying. There's never a resolution. There's never a what do you call it? A confirmation when you're doing. So I told him, try this. I want, I will, and I have. And once you use those powers of manifestation, I want, I will, I have, you'll start to attract those things to your life. The only thing about people like me, I call myself an empath or a clairvoyant or an oracle, because I know a lot of stuff. The problem is I don't abuse or utilize what the universe offers. That's just my issue, because I feel too modest to use something that I know how to guide and assist others with, that it'll be selfish for myself, which kind of sounds stupid because it's like, look, I really would love to have a partner, the love of my life. I would love to have a relationship, but the reason why a lot of us don't have companionship, it's because we're extraordinary. And it takes somebody as extraordinary or completely parallel, completely opposite, to ride with you. It takes someone completely opposite. So I always think, to me, a tall 6'2" white guy with glasses, who's a what do you call it? A technology guru. That would probably work for Aaron. Someone who is current with the music on the radio. And I've been telling a lot of people that I've been talking to Skateboarder. I've been seeing Skateboarder we've been talking for a month, but we only hung out like 4 times. The problem with Skateboarder is when his self-confidence is low, his self-esteem is low, we lose contact. We lose each, and I have to pull him back up. And then I say all these positive reinforcements to keep him inspired. But then I don't hear from him for like a few days after. Oh, well, not my problem. I told him 60 days. So he has 30 more days to figure out how to accept my emotional support, or I'm moving on. That's just how I am. Okay, let's talk about loving ourselves. So I talked about the projection of other people. I would say, uh-oh, it's not just my eye. Like, I have the waterworks going. I think for me, I don't love myself enough. I don't. And I think a lot of us don't love ourselves enough. I love what I do. I love the people in my life. I love my family, even though they get on my damn nerves. Both sides of my family. But family love is sort of like, y'all could damage me and piss me off so much, but when I wake up the next day, I will die for my family. That's just what it is. For my friends, it's changed in 2020. I've always thought I can be there for my friends until the bitter end. But the fact that some people choose these debate wars, these keyboard, wars, it's really showed a shallow side of people that I really didn't know. And I'm glad that I know that certain people were too shallow to be in my, circle. There's a quote that says, we can exchange shapes, but it doesn't mean you're in my circle. I think everybody has a secret of still trying to attain and learn how to love themselves enough. Enough might be, yeah, today I felt sad and depressed, but then tomorrow I wake up and I have a new task. Yay. Or the pandemic may have surfaced a lot of anxiety and anguish, but then you find someone to go have lunch with, and yay. The problem, though, about the self-love thing is we put so much of what we would intend for ourselves into others that we forget about ourselves because we're focused on, we're focused on the connection of other people. I would say that this year was definitely a year to deal with yourself, deal with your mental, deal with your annoyances, deal with your intolerances, all of the negative stuff that like I tell you guys, this is why I have a new therapist. I sit on this couch and I tell you guys, I have thought of the darkest things in the world. I thought of the happiest things in the world. I thought of the best things that I've done. And I miss the things that I used to do, like sitting on this couch. So because my life as an artist, and I keep trying to share this with other people, when you are a performer, an artist, an alter ego, a stage name, you are feeding this other entity. You forget that you have a personal life. You forget that, when it comes to your phone bill, you still have to pay your bill on time or your service is cut off. So that's what I'm learning right now is 2020 was the year that I got to be with myself as a person. I got to feel my darkest moments, feel my darkness, feel my compassion, feel my joy, feel my light, and integrate with the two. A good friend of mine, he always told me, stop being afraid of your darkness, integrate with it. And I was like, bish, I am not trying to because we always think if I embrace my darkness, I'm going to go to hell because that's what the Bible said. That's what Christianity said. If I fulfill my role as a bitchy person, people are going to hate me. If I fulfill my journey as, a boss bitch, like I'm not going to get hired for lower end jobs. But I think like the point of being here on earth, because that's what I always come to terms with before I go to bed. Being here on earth is sort of like, it's a torment on purpose. and we have to feel the torment. And so I think that's why a lot of us don't focus too much on our self-love. We don't work on our self-love. We don't. I know that some people love themselves a lot to where when they speak in front of the camera, it's very, hi everyone, and it's all of the, it's high vibration. For me, I can project messages of truth. I could project authentic messages of faith. I could speak like a life coach, but let's be honest. Like, I think the reason why people hold on to my friendship, hold on to my appeal, is because life sometimes is a piece of crap. You know, you have some shitty moments in life, but you evolve from those low points. And I think those low points is where you love yourself. You start to find how much you actually do love yourself to keep going. I guess I expressed too much. So I have a friend who, I think a friend of mine took his life this week. I haven't heard from him since Sunday. And the whole point of my friendship with him was to have him love himself enough to not kill himself. And I've been trying to find him. He's not at the hospitals. I tried to call a psych ward. I just didn't know like how deep my friend was in this situation where he didn't love himself enough. And so it sucks because someone like me has to deal with, that's what I'm mad about certain people. Like, if people are considering hurting themselves, you got to think about the pain that other people are going to have to endure when you're not here. So if my friend is alive and you're watching this live stream, please contact me. Please communicate, because I'm having a breakdown every day that I know that you're not responding to your phone. You're not posting on Facebook. You just disappeared. That felt good to get it out of my system. On a positive note, I got some drops for my eyes. And at least the sagging is gone. But the redness and the irritation is still there. I think the end of 2020 will be the time where everybody reflects on their own self-love. And I think the more you focus on loving yourself, it doesn't matter who's president. It doesn't matter. The system's corrupt and screwed up anyway. That's why I tell people a lot of time, stop thinking the system is going to protect you. It's going to be, voting is a bunch of crap. The Electoral College ain't us anyway. Well, it is me because I got... Anyway, I digress. But I think we need to just start focusing on fulfilling our own destinies with what we feel makes us feel good as people, boosts our confidence. That's why when a lot of people always approach me saying, Aaron, why do you always talk like you're teaching people? Well, because I have a mindset of wisdom. I have a mindset of, of a ministry. Regardless of my lifestyle, my soul has a job to do. And that's what I wake up and say to myself every day. No matter what it is that my physical body is going through, the inside, my inner work, my inner authority, has a mission, has a job. So if I post something on Facebook and people are responding from like human being perspective, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to like the soul. I'm talking to your soul. I say things for very specific reasons, and I say things because I know a lot of stuff. And people may not believe it. Not my problem. I don't care. Hi, Joanne. I saw you just sign on to my live stream. Look at my eye. So, I still can't open my right eye as much as the left, but I look drunk. I'm winking, but I'm not. Or good Botox or bad Botox. I would say this year definitely was the year that I did fall in love with myself all over again. And then I think after I was suffering with the COVID, I kind of fell out of love with myself. And I started allowing what people were criticizing me of. And I always think of it too, like, I always think of like we're in tribulation, like from the Bible. I really firmly believe that this is the tribulation. Where we're taking on the judgment. We're taking on our book of life. People that are not strong enough to deal with their self-affliction, their torment. See, all the things that are negative, they either tear you down or they build you up. And the people that get torn down, they die. That's just what I'm kind of learning about life. And I think that's how God is working, is if you're not strong enough, you gonna die. And it's not a, but even if you die, you still earn the gift of eternity, which is the best gift to receive from a creator. But it sucks to die. It sucks to not have completed your self-love journey before you left. So I was just sharing, if you're just tuning in, I was just sharing how I have a friend who I think committed suicide this week because we were talking every day for the last 4 months, every single day, and blank, gone. And the last text that I did get from this person was, if I die, I'll resurrect and come back as a butterfly or something. He was just joking around, but I didn't think of it as an intent to end his own life until here we are 6 days later. And so I'm just kind of tired of death. Death keeps coming back in. It just keeps coming around in my life. I haven't really recovered from my brother's death from a year ago. It'll be the 29th. The 29th of October will be my brother's death anniversary. And I kind of just went pause, numb, blank. Life just stopped. So meanwhile, while everyone was frozen during the pandemic, I was frozen from a year ago. I don't even remember a year ago, other than things are being removed and taken away from me while I was hurting. Which is why I'm going to see my new therapist on Wednesday. Yes. And I think when we hurt, it's hard to love yourself, but it's easy to love doing things. It's easy to love activities. It's easy to laugh. It's easy to watch things on TV. It's easy to decorate your home. But those are excuses. I'm trying to find the words. It's kind of like when you keep yourself occupied, because focusing on self-love is just too painful to deal with. A lot of times we exercise, or I think my self-love journey this year had to do with I'm not trying to be an exercise instructor. I never wanted to be an exercise instructor. But I did the role because people didn't have self love. People found self love through my dance class. And because I felt that I was a priority in their lives, I had to exercise. I had to have a fit body. I had to look a certain way. Now that I don't have that job, I'm just sort of like, okay, now I need to go into dealing with my own personal emotions. And my own personal emotions are horrible. Like, I know a lot of people see the positive Aaron on Facebook. They see my positive words or they see my jokes and humor, but there's a really dark, dark, dark place inside of Aaron, and I haven't yet, like, confronted what it is, where it comes from, where it strains from. There's a really, really dark entity inside of my body, and it's not like a possession. It's just more sort of like, if I really were to be hard on myself, I can go for hours being hard on myself until I get sick. Part of me having an immune dysfunction disorder is because I didn't have enough mode of confidence growing up. So the body is yearning for attention. So then you get sick, you get an ailment. So you're paying more attention to your body, or you die. That's just what it is. Even with the eye thing, I look at that as a metaphor because the morning that I got this eye, I recall the last words to me the night before, which was from Skateboarder, who was here. Skateboarder said, "You're too nice. You're too nice of a person." And I think it turned him off. I think that we are not going to go forward as a relationship because he doesn't have enough self-love in himself. He's constantly calling himself stupid. He's constantly saying he's ashamed of himself. And no matter what I say, it's just not enough. And that's what I learned about relationships is, if you're going to be broken, please don't beat yourself up in front of my face. Like, I know if I'm invested in getting to know someone, never to tear yourself down in front of someone that you're trying to invest your future with. Let them learn your flaws on their own time, but don't confess your flaws. Don't confess your problems, you know. The only thing that I will confess to people is I say, like, I look beautiful, but I do have a mental illness. And I just like let people know. I'm a very nervous person. I'm a very anxious person because I was in survivor mode my whole life. I've always never had a break. I've always, either I was moving because money was short or money increased and I moved to be closer to a job. But I've always chased, the dream of having more money, more wealth, live bigger, live better, and people always got in the way. Had I loved myself enough, and and I always think about this too, I probably would have stayed hired at my last job if I loved myself a little more. And I think reflecting on the last job I had and all the things I did for so many people, I didn't have enough love for myself to manifest keeping that job. So whether it was the job's fault or my fault, the main thing about myself, I come home, I go, you didn't do enough for yourself, Aaron. Sorry. And that's the battle I have every day is I don't do enough for myself. Why? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why is there a struggle between, like, right now should be a moment where I should be applying for like 50 jobs a day. I just don't feel like it. I just don't. Like, I feel I feel like right now is the time where I have to work on the mental and emotional before I step out and be in front of people assisting them again. And my Saturday dance class, which is it's more of a benefit for me because I'm reminded of what I miss about what I love about dancing, what I love about teaching. And I really thank Linda and Hector and the dance studio for whatever city codes that they have to pass to get us to teach outside. Thank you guys so much, because there was a part of me that was missing this year, and it was being in front of people with the music that I love. And there's just something about sharing that good energy with people, and I think sometimes I sacrifice my own self-love because I just think that life is not, you can't take advantage of life. If you feel drawn to do something, it's a service to others, you kind of automatically don't focus on yourself. You don't focus on the love for yourself. You're more concentrated on instilling that confidence in other people and making sure that they're motivated before yourself. And I know a lot of people say that if an airplane were to have an incident, you put on your oxygen mask before others. But when it comes to being a service to other people in this day and age, you kind of put your own stuff aside and you show so much to somebody because you might have more confidence or more initiative than the other person. So on Monday, I really don't want to talk about this situation, but so Monday, I don't even know what to say. So basically Monday, I had a date night. And the person was bipolar and had a trigger which switched him from person A to person D. And I didn't know there was a person B, C, and B, C, B, and C. He was D. So there were alter personas that were coming out, and there were different conversations. And I was really like, I didn't catch on to it until like something happened. I was like, whoa, I just offered you a slice of pizza. How did you go from wanting a slice of pizza to taking the piece of pizza to the shower? Oh my gosh. These things you never know until you're confronted by it. But I had enough respect for the human race, respect for his condition, to where my mindset is almost like Alzheimer's and dementia. You cannot reflect what they're going through. You have to sort of, ew, there's something nasty on my TV. Ew. I'm watching this Japanese anime and they're doing the nasty. She just recovered. Anyway, so I knew that he was having a breakdown because he knew that he had split from person A to person D. And I was just like, oh my gosh, he's about to have like I don't know how to explain it because I'm not a psychologist or I don't study therapy, but I just knew that he will self-sabotage himself mentally, or he would run out of my apartment and self-sabotage or get hurt, or think that I'm insulting, embarrassing him to where he will attack me. So I know there's 3 traits to people who have bipolar disorder. My family has that characteristic in their history. So I know the signs when I see it, but I just knew comfort him. Just make him feel comfortable. Just act like there's nothing wrong. And I try to be nice to invite the person to go back home and collect themselves. And that's when he had a meltdown. And it is crazy because you just don't, it isn't like you invite negative people in your life. It's sort of like, whoa, this person doesn't love themselves enough to love themselves out of falling apart. And it allows you to acknowledge that at least you have enough self-love in yourself to love that person back into the moment, to love them out of freaking out. And I say love wholeheartedly. I love people. I don't need to have a relationship to know that I love somebody. You know, I can feel such compassion and connection to people that love is instantaneous. But I had to text skateboarder, who is sort of like my date, who has 60 days to figure out what he wants, or I'm moving on. But I had to text my date, and I was like, oh my gosh. So, like, someone's here and they're about to kill me. I don't know what to do. And so, I thought that was so cool how skateboarder literally got here within 5 minutes because he lives a block away. And just, I saw such a man. I've never saw that side of anybody before, where they came, they sat next to me, held my hand, and was just like, you know, I'm here for you, babe. And I'm going to defend you if this person tries to hurt you. That was such a beautiful thing. The part that sucks about skateboarder, though, that was such a great example of what he is, and what he can offer someone. But today he was sort of defeating himself by saying, I'm so stupid. Like, I just don't know what to do in my life. And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you got like this beautiful Egyptian goddess in front of you. And it's like, I give up. I give up on trying to show people that, look, I'm not all together. I have a lot of loose screws in different departments, but I'm willing to tighten those loose ends to keep us together, to keep us tight. And that is a reflection of my own self. I'm willing to love myself enough to invite another person to be part of me, to integrate with my life experience. Because I'm learning at this part of our pandemic situation, I cannot be alone for another year. I don't know how I would. I don't know how mentally I would manage being by myself in 2021. And that's the scary thing. I started noticing 2 days ago that I started A, having conversations with myself, B, making commentary on my own as though there were another person here. I'm like, ooh, Aaron, you can't be doing that. Today was like a good day where I played music while walking to get my medical eye drops. And the songs were able to be that alter persona, you know, the conversation that I wish I had with another person, but we're in a pandemic. So I was playing some good songs that were making me feel, you know, empowering myself. So I thought of creating a playlist for November, empowerment songs, and I'm thinking of doing a movement, just on my own thing, calling it Now November Now, like being in the moment now, focusing on, because what I'm trying to do is prepare people that if Mr. T is reelected, please don't lose it. You have yourself at the end of the day. You have your family, you have your children. Like, stop focusing on people who have no relevance physically in your life. It's just, it's irrelevant to be ugly in front of the public because of one person's his agency. He's an actor, But if Biden wins, it's the same thing. It's a double-edged sword. If he wins, I will lose it. I'm just like, because there's some things that I know about him that I do not like at all. I'm not talking about politics too much, but I just know that my family is a political family. My mom volunteers for the polls. She's been doing it for 10 years. She's worked the polls. She's done the counting. So I feel a responsibility to choose the appropriate side for what is needed for the economy. I'm not focused on personality and character, who's my favorite or who's the less meaniest. That's just irrelevant. My grandmother worked for the Clinton administration in the 90s. So there's a lot of experience and there's a lot of stories that I know. So trust me when I say things about politics, I'm very well updated with a lot of things. But had I not had the aspirations from dance, aspirations from meeting different people from around the world, I probably wouldn't have been able to have such a centered approach to life and reality. And sometimes I know my posts might be a little biased, but I'm doing it on purpose to make people think, because I know what triggers, I know what things that I can say to help people recenter themselves, to find the balance within. So that's all. I'm done talking. I'm going to let you guys go. And my eye needs a break. I feel like Quasimodo from Hunchback of Notre Dame. I'm the bell ringer. Anyways, have a wonderful night. I'll see you guys later. Bye.